Boom.
We're on the grid.
Oh, I'm always on the grid.
I want to be off the grid so badly. It's like my dream.
You're an off the grid
Get
kid.
yourself a ball cap and some sunglasses, and you'll be well on your way.
Oh my god. Nathan and I were watching something this weekend, and we were watching The Night Manager, the new season, and they have Hiddles in a ball cap, and I was like, this isn't Marvel. You can't hide under that ball cap, Tom Hiddleston. We see that it's you.
Damn. I just got done podcasting with Ashley for MCU Cast, and this cough, I thought I was getting rid of it, and now that I podcast for an hour and it's totally back, that's just irritating my throat.
Well, we should just call it quits.
Yeah, let's stop. Done for the night. Done forever.
Yep. You got to see our faces. Bye.
All right, I'm pulling up the YouTube comments, and then I'm ready to go. Uh-oh. I'm bleeding.
All right.
That's not good.
You're bleeding.
There's just a spot of blood on my hand. But I don't... Is my nose bleeding? I can't see my
Does it
face.
look like it from
It
what I
doesn't
can tell?
from all these miles.
Anybody? Right here? Look up my nostril. Is that good internet
There's
content?
a bat in the cave, but no blood.
No bat? There's a bat?
Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, there's a spot of blood on my hand. I have a
Oh,
couple...
this is interesting.
I cut my hand yesterday, but it's not bleeding that I know of. Where's it coming from, you guys? What did I do? Okay, never mind. Let's just...
Look, Spider-Man's not like hanging precariously above you with a sliced forearm, is he?
It was Deadpool. Deadpool did it. Okay.
Chaos. Stories.
Stories. Oh, yeah. Y'all pick stories.
Well, it's kind of
You
a
want-
flip-flop situation.
Forearm, is he? You want to kick off the Lucasfilm stuff?
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, and then I can take the box office, and then
Jay Scotty takes the box office. That's our first story tonight.
it's all mine.
Okay, so y'all good? Got your
Yep.
Yeah.
stories? All right, I'm hitting record on Zencastr
All right.
and record on Audacity equivalent.
Recording.
And doing the same.
Chickadee China. Check, check. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm not getting signal yet. Give me a second. My
Put your aluminum hat on.
Audacity. Check, check. There we go. Now I'm hitting record on Audacity equivalent. Here we go. Is it my nose? I don't know. I'm bleeding from somewhere,
hope-
you guys.
I hope it's not your coughing, because...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think I coughed up blood. It was kind of dried, actually. Like, it was clearly a spot of blood on my hand, but when I wiped it off, like, there was a ring around it, like it dried on, and I wonder if it was, like, from way earlier. Like, maybe my hand bled on me, and I just didn't notice it till now. All right, sorry.
Bloodcast.
Bloodcast. Hope nobody's squeamish to talking about blood, because we're going to do it all tonight on Multiverse News. Okay.
If you're joining us in the live chat, what is your blood type? Are you a universal donor, universal receiver?
Anybody, any universal donors out there? I may need one by the end of the cast, apparently. I'm slightly freaked out because normally, that happens where you're like, oh,
you want to take a beat?
No,
to
I'm fine. I'm not like woozy or anything. It's just like a very small, tiny spot of blood, and I'm just like, where did it come from? What did it drop off of? I'm honestly mostly wondering if it was on my dogs because they were fighting real hard earlier. I don't think they're hurt. I don't think they're hurt because they were totally happy and wagging tails, but they might have nipped each other somewhere. Okay, let's do a podcast. Sorry. Kathleen Kennedy steps down from Lucasfilm. Zootopia 2 and Marty Supreme hit box office milestones while The Bone Temple does not. And Netflix makes it rain. All that and more coming up right after this. I did that weird, but it's fine.
It's a vibe.
What's that?
It's a vibe.
Welcome to Multiverse News, your source for information about all your favorite fictional universes. My name's Matthew Carroll, and with me on the panel today we have J. Scotty St. Clair. What's happening, Scoots?
Oh, not a lot. This week, the J in J Scotty stands for Jimmy. And if you've seen 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, you know what I'm talking about.
Ooh.
And for those of you that don't, just go with it.
They learned to Jimmy the locks on the doors. That's my guess. And Haley Hobbs.
Heidi ho, Multiverse News listeners.
Love a Heidi ho. Love a Heidi ho. We have a 5-star review from Corey Gregory. He says, you joked at the beginning of your January 2nd episode about the likelihood of listeners going back in time to listen to old episodes. Sorry, I just have to pause for a second. You don't have to go back in time. They are still available.
Wait, if you can go back in time, take us with you.
Sorry, we were just on the MCU cast talking about Back to the Future a little bit. And, of course, because I love to. But, yeah, so that made me laugh. Okay. Listening to old episodes or / old news, I'm leaving a review to note that I am one of those listeners. Even though I already know mostly everything that is discussed, it's really fun to hear how right or sometimes how wrong your theories are. The old content and the new content are equally entertaining and informative. Keep up the great work on this podcast and the others on the Stranded Panda Network. 3,000! Exclamation point. Thank you, Corey. Thank you.
See? I was right.
Yeah,
People
you were
go
right.
back.
There are people that do it. I mean, I suppose I could probably look up on our actual stats to see. That actually used to be one of my big metrics on the MCU cast. I would, to see how we were doing on growth of our audience, I would look at how many people downloaded the first episode, which for us was Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'd always go back and see how many people downloaded Guardians of the Galaxy this month, because that means that many people found the show and went back and listened to that cast. At least that was the assumption. There's a lot of assumptions in there,
Interesting.
but
I will say I was right about that, but I was wrong last week about the Golden Globe for cinematic box office achievement.
oh yeah, what were you
and
wrong
it woke
about?
me up at 2:35 in the morning the next day. Barbie won that, not Taylor Swift. So I can be both right and wrong and admit it.
Yeah, I think it sounds kind of sexist. Why are all women the same to you, Haley?
Just blonde ones.
just all blonde women. Yeah. as she
I can say
tugs.
that because I'm blonde.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for the audio listener, she's tugging on her own blonde hair. She's not being blondest.
Blondest.
All right. Well, let's get into our first story. Last week, Lucasfilm announced that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her role at the studio as the studio head. I missed her that they were. I failed so soon. All right. Last week, Lucasfilm announced that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from her role as studio president, a position she held since Disney's 2012 acquisition. Succeeding her are George Lucas's protege and Ahsoka creator Dave Filoni, who will oversee the franchise's creative direction as co-president alongside former Lucasfilm general manager Lin-Wen Brennan. Handling the business side of things. Kennedy handling the business side of things. Kennedy still has an active hand as an executive producer of both Star Wars next theatrical. Promise I practiced this one, and I just failing it. Kennedy still has an active hand as an executive producer of both Star Wars' next theatrical outings, May's The Mandalorian and Grogu, as well as 2027's The Starfighter, and will continue to produce other projects independently. Kennedy's tenure saw its fair share of highs and lows, especially contending with an often fickle fandom. But the multi-billion-dollar films under her belt multi-million dollar.
Say, but with multi-billion-dollar films under her belt.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that. But with multi-billion-dollar films under her belt, her exit marks the end of an era. Looking both back on what was as well as what the future holds for the galaxy far, far away. How do we feel about Lucasfilm changing of the guard?
None of this is very surprising. They moved Dave Filoni into that chief creative role just last year, and I think early this, well, was it 2024? Anyway, it's not a surprising move. The chess pieces have been put into place. This has been coming for a while. I think there was a rumor, maybe in the summer of 2025, that Kathleen Kennedy was retiring, and then it was squashed. And so, whatever leak that was clearly true. They've been working on this for a while. I think that keeping her on as a producer, she's been a producing partner with Lucasfilm since Indiana Jones. She and George Lucas and Steven Spielberg have done a lot of successful films together. So I think it's a good move to keep her there in that role. She has a lot of history with the company. I think, there's a lot of hate for Kathleen Kennedy in the Star Wars fandom. I think she was handpicked by George Lucas for a reason, and I think that Disney interfered a lot with maybe some of what was going on. And I think we can all leave it at that. We all know what I'm talking about probably. So I'm excited to see Dave Filoni in this role. He's my favorite Star Wars storyteller. He's been groomed by George Lucas for this role as well. Bringing him on to do the Clone Wars was probably the most important move that George Lucas made in a long time. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It seems like they're going to do different things, new things. I want them to keep experimenting with Star Wars, because I think even if it's not universally loved, it becomes something that somebody else enjoys. And I think that's the beauty of an IP as big as Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to the new frontier.
Yeah. Say what you will about Kathleen Kennedy and her impact on Star Wars, but you look back on what she was able to accomplish during her tenure, and there's just no denying the fact that it was a success. The Force Awakens made it to $2 billion and is still domestically. Actually, I'd have to run the numbers again, but I want to say it's the highest grossing domestic film of all time, even beating out Avengers Endgame. But don't take my word at that. I'll have to double check myself on that. But I feel pretty good about that. So, you can make arguments about, oversaturation, the sequel trilogy not really being executed as well as it could have if they had an overarching plan that they stuck with from the beginning. But again, I don't lay all of that fault at Kathleen Kennedy's feet. This exit has been a long time coming, but it's been even longer that I have not envied her in this position, because it's just, you look at any other studio head in similar position, and the amount of flack that she gets despite the success, it's just inexcusable. So, the Star Wars fandom, I'm a member of it, but it is at worst very, very toxic, at best very fickle. So the fact that she stuck around as long as she did, I think just speaks to the thick skin that she has and the fact that she was the right person for this position. So looking to the future, the sky's the limit for Kathleen Kennedy. She can go on and do whatever she wants. Kaylee, you mentioned some of her previous successes, and again, the point I just made, I think any other studio out there, any other filmmaker out there, the opportunity to partner with her and get that experience and that expertise, as well as the financial backing that comes along with it, like it's a no-brainer. She's going to do many great things still to come. So all that being said, looking at who she has passed the reins on to her, and I know it wasn't her decision alone, but yeah, like you said, Haley, it's kind of a no-brainer. Dave Filoni has been the guy for a long time, but I for one am actually pretty pleased that he's not the one guy, the one end-all be-all. The fact that he has a co-president alongside him. I don't know a lot about Lin-Wen, but the fact that she has a good handle on the business, I think that is going to complement his strengths really well. He's a storyteller, he's a creative, and I won't take anything away from him, what he's been able to accomplish within Star Wars and restoring some of the prestige to the prequel trilogy, and just really honing in on Clone Wars and making some of the most beloved characters that a lot of them are making the transition from the small screen to the big screen. I think that's huge. That being said, he is a guy that I don't think his story sensibilities always line up with mine one-to-one, but I'm open-minded. I'm willing to see what he can do. In a perfect world, I think I would have rather have seen Jon Favreau or even Tony Gilroy in the role. But again, he is George Lucas's protege. He's been working under George Lucas for a really long time, has a good handle on the lore and the fantasy elements. So I say all that just kind of in the back of my mind. I had heard some rumors that Filoni kind of was pushing against Andor, and he's not a real big fan of Andor. And as
I think
with
that's
Andor
Twitter
being
nonsense.
okay, yeah, could be, yeah, who knows? But yeah, if that is the case, I hope that he remains open minded and teachable, and kind of recognizes his own strengths and can really grow into the role here. So, yeah, again, the fact that we haven't had a Star Wars film since 2019, some people might look back on that and say, hey, that's a failing. But in my opinion, I'm not complaining at all. I have been long maintained that absence makes the heart grow fond. Star Wars is not Marvel. We can take some time away, and 7 years is not that long to wait when you've been as long a fan of Star Wars as I have, and had to wait some of those distances between trilogies. So that being the case, I do think we're probably, I think they've learned their lessons. We're not going to repeat what we did in 2018, where Solo just falls flat on its face due to oversaturation. But again, the fact that we have Mandalorian and Grogu on the way, plus Starfighter, we've heard about this Simon Kinberg trilogy. It sounds like Kathleen Kennedy may still have some kind of hand in that, but the other projects like James Mangold's, Dawn of the Jedi trilogy, sounds like that's on the back burner. She did talk about Taika Waititi's script. A script has been turned in, but it's not a priority right now. So all in all, I feel pretty good about where Star Wars is at. If they have these scripts that they feel pretty good about, that they're just sitting on to create that want and that absence, I think that's a good move.
The main parallel that I just can't help but see is the James Gunn parallel. I think that Dave Filoni has made some really good Star Wars, and I like that they take a creative that has made good stuff that the fans have responded to well and wants to put them in charge, and giving them a business co-president to take the weight off of them so they can just be creative. But it comes with the same sort of problems as it does as the James Gunn choice. It's like a creative who has made a certain kind of show or movie, or they've got all these things going in the fire, but being someone who is tells the overarching story is different, and the more and more they try to do this with all these different universes, the more and more I realize how special Kevin Feige has been in the Marvel universe, and being able to pull off what they were able to for a long time, at least. But I'm excited. I like Filoni's stuff. I really liked Clone Wars. It's hit or miss. There's episodes I don't care for at all, and there's episodes that are really good. But overall, he did a really good job of building the universe out. So yeah, I'm excited for this. And yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, I think there's no denying Star Wars has been in a rough era, but I don't think there's anything to do with Kathleen Kennedy. I think it just is the transition of making a series that used to be 3 movies every 20 years and then trying to make it an ongoing machine that produces content, trying to copy the Marvel way, and you're gonna have misses, and I think that there have been misses. There've also been ones that were good, but fans just resisted for various reasons, some legitimate and some terrible. So I think this era of Star Wars had been hit or miss, but Kathleen Kennedy's made some great Star Wars, and championed a lot of really great stuff. So not a bad word to say about her at all. And yeah, excited for the future. And I just think it's cool that this guy who loves this stuff and just got to work under George Lucas and got to make some little cartoons has not been elevated to this position.
Little cartoons, they're just cartoons.
Well, it's a different. It's just a different level, I'm not saying there's anything bad, but they're I'm talking about literally the size of budgets and the viewership and stuff like that. When I say little, I don't mean bad, or they're just they're it's such a smaller audience and such a niche thing that you're making, and then now you're going to be making you're the head of making these movies. You're going to be putting out 1 or 2 a year of these hundreds of millions of dollar budgets that are expected to make billions. It's just a different playing field. And to trust that guy Like, you tell good stories here, let's let you tell good stories here. It's just a cool thing to do, and I'm hoping that it pans out, you know?
Well, I think the success of The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka show prove that he can do it.
Yeah, for sure. So, how involved was he with Mando? I know he was obviously with Ahsoka. He was the showrunner
He
for
and Jon
Ahsoka, right?
Favreau like co-created it.
The Mando? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Oh
If
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, he kind of took the lead in season 3.
Took the lead in season 3. Okay.
I don't know about that off the top of my head.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't realize he was involved. I knew Ahsoka was his baby
They were
to some
like
degree.
like co-showrunners basically.
Okay, cool.
Like Jon Favreau wrote every episode, I think, of the first season of The Mandalorian.
Really
Sounds
wrote?
right.
Interesting. I didn't pay. I'm not a. That was before we did this show, where I paid more attention to the behind the scenes, you know. But also, I've never been one to pay as much attention to the behind the scenes, except for certain universes that I really. Star Wars has never been my universe, you know. So that's cool to know, because I mean that's sort of that stepping stone. Like he did, they let him do the cartoons, then they let him do the shows that were bigger budgets, and now they're doing the big things. And I think he's earned his position very
Yeah, like
well.
to learn with Jon Favreau, who is a
Yeah.
successful and celebrated storyteller too.
Of
I
course.
think he's had all the right leaders next to him.
And of course, Jon Favreau kicking off the MCU. I mean,
Yeah.
and still being I still want them to give him another MCU movie at some point. Like bring him back.
I don't think he wants it.
I agree.
I think they would jump at the opportunity to have him come back. I think he's not interested.
100%. I think it's his choice, not theirs, for sure. But I would like to see it. I just love he
I'd love
did
to
such
see
a good
him
job.
come back to Star Wars or Marvel.
Yeah.
Or have his hand in any universe for that matter.
He directed the first episode of the Orville. Is like
Oh, nice.
It just and that set the directing the first episode of something sets the tone. You're casting the characters. You're doing a lot of those things. So yeah, great. He's just launched so many good things, and we've never seen him in a position like this, like the president, and I don't know that I want to. Like I think he likes making the stories, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
He's so money and he doesn't even know it.
that's so true. That's so true. All right. Moving on to our next story. It was a surprisingly noteworthy MLK weekend box office. Outside of Avatar Fire and Ash's continuing reign, Marty Supreme became A24's top-performing film of all time with $80 million domestically, surpassing Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't like it. I'm now mad at Marty Supreme. Just kidding. While Zootopia 2 became the highest grossing animated film of all time globally with over $1.7 billion, passing Inside Out 2. Meanwhile, Nia DaCosta's 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple opened below expectations with just $15 million over the 4-day weekend, falling well short of the $30 million debut of its predecessor and behind tracking projections of $20 million. Despite the horror sequel's muted debut, it's been an unusually robust box office this January. Has the month's notoriety as a dumping ground come to an end?
I think we're that much closer to being able to drop the moniker of dump month when it comes to January and September, really, because I was looking back at my Rolodex of movie tickets within the AMC app. I think I've actually been to more movies this January than I did in December, which is pretty crazy, because December is always when they're trying to launch the big tent poles and what have you. But this January has been really strong. Between stuff like Marty Supreme that's continuing its box office run from releasing on Christmas, to new releases like we'll talk about 28 years later here, but even a couple weeks ago I saw Primate, which is January has a reputation for being a dumping ground for schlocky horror in early January, and Primate was schlocky horror, but it was elevated because the practical effects were so good and the kills were so good that it was one of the few times in a early January horror movie that I wasn't like checking my watch or being like, when do I get to get out of here? This was fun, but I want to get out of here. It was just that good. So give the flowers to Marty Supreme. I'm not as upset about it taking the crown from Everything Everywhere All at Once, as much as I love that movie too. But it's Timothy Chalamet is definitely making a name for himself. I think he is arguably the best young actor working today. So the fact that he is resonating with audiences, and even with a 2.5 hour movie, the fact that it's doing this well, I think is a testament. So, and good on Zootopia too as well. The fact that came out in November and continues to, I won't say dominate the box office, but hold really strong. It's kind of reminding me of a couple of years ago, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and the way that was really able to maintain a hold. It didn't achieve the heights that Zootopia 2 has here, but it seems like every year we're breaking a new record when it comes to animation. I think that just speaks to the fact that it's becoming that much more accessible, and the taboo and the stigma behind it is really being lessened here. So let's talk about the Bone Temple, because I'm raring to talk about it. And I'm surprised I waited this long to get into it, because I have been on record when it comes to 28 years later. The movie was close to being a masterpiece for me, with the exception of the last 5 minutes. So I went into the Bone Temple with, some measured expectations. And I have to say, this is one of the rare instances where a sequel is able to retroactively salvage those last 5 minutes for me. And I think I love both movies side by side now. And I might even like the Bone Temple just a little bit more. It's definitely Nia DaCosta's best film in her filmography, and she's done things that I've really enjoyed, like Candyman with Yahya Abdul-Mateen from a few years ago. She did The Marvels, which isn't my favorite of the Marvel films, but I still think it's a solid entry, and she did her thing. But here it's just so good. It's a natural evolution of the story we saw in the last film, but again, the fact that they were able to take those last 5 minutes that felt so tonally divergent and make something really compelling with this film is just I wasn't expecting it. And the fact that it did a full 180 for me just has me really glowing about this film. And Ray Fiennes, it might be his most memorable performance. He's got some great performances under his belt, so I won't say it's his best, but maybe most memorable. So I'm itching to see this thing again, and I might have to go back and kind of do a little mini marathon for the 28 movies, just because I love the Bone Temple that much, and really hoping that it does get the third film that's kind of been promised if this film does well enough. So we're talking about it falling short of tracking and projections, but I think this will be a case where the word of mouth, people like myself, fans of the franchise, if they continue to sing its praises, Avatar Fire and Ashes, it can only go for so long. People have to go back to the movie theaters to see other things. So I think the Bone Temple could fight back in the coming weeks.
I'm cautiously optimistic about 2026 box office. I really think it's going to be the year with all the cool things we have coming out. And I don't know if it's my bias, but like the holidays were so insane, it was too hard for me to go to the movies. And now
Me
it's
too.
January, and I'm like, I have time, and I feel like going to the movies again, kind of a thing. Like I wanted to see Hamnet this weekend, but it's gonna be leaving our theaters here on Thursday, so I probably won't get to. But there's all kinds of re-releases coming out. There's lots of anniversaries of movies coming up. Regal does this like January month thing, and they re-release just different movies, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days out there. They're releasing Dune, just stuff like that that's fun, that's like, you know what, I would actually go back to the theater to see that. So I even see that One Battle After Another is going back into theaters, which I think is really cool. So I think it's a positive thing for the year. I really am looking forward to seeing how things perform. But I do wonder sometimes if we on the show need to start looking at films and talking about where they're released, because that is making a big difference for a lot of the franchises that we love and talk about on this show. But some of these other films like Zootopia and things like that, they're getting a wider global release than our superhero movies and stuff like that than they used to. We have to remember that China's not showing a lot of those things, and sometimes Russia's not either. And so it's just an interesting thing to keep in mind. I think it really skews how we talk about our franchise favorites, but I am looking forward to a positive year at the box office.
I'm really interested to hear that you like the Bone Temple so much, Scoots. I I joked a few episodes ago that we could do that on bingers, and I think I might be down, especially now hearing that. I was fascinated by your idea that the last 5 minutes just completely tanked the movie for you. That was a very funny thing for me.
Yeah.
It's always just like a weird thing to watch a movie and be like, this is so. I had a similar thing with Tron, the new Tron, where I felt like the whole movie was amazing, and then there's just a little thing at the end that bothered me, but and kind of ruined a lot of what I felt about the movie. But so that was interesting. But now hearing that this movie somehow rescued the feelings of the last one, I'm definitely gonna have to watch them now, and maybe we can do a bingers on them or something. I'm also just completely shocked by Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2 now has $1.7 billion. Avatar has 1.3. Like it'd be crazy to me if Zootopia beats Avatar. Like that's wild. But it's beating it by 300 million right now, 400 million right now. Like that's pretty good chunk. So like you guys said, it's gonna be a good year at the box office, and that makes me excited for the things we do love. And talk about so much on this show, like maybe some of the dip and some of the panic that Marvel went through and all of these franchises is just related to the box office in general. People aren't going to the movies as much the last few years, so ever since COVID, really. So if things are recovering, maybe we'll see it bounces back in those arenas too. All right. Well, moving on to our next story, Netflix has revised its $83 billion deal for Warner Brothers Discovery to an all-cash transaction valued at $27.75 per share, simplifying the structure to provide a greater certainty of value for shareholders and accelerate the path to a shareholder vote by April. The amended deal, unanimously approved by both boards, maintains the same per-share valuation, while Warner Bros. Discovery stockholders will still receive additional value from its shares of Discovery Gold following its spinoff. The Netflix financing the deal... With Netflix financing the deal through cash on hand, credit facilities, and committed financing, this update comes on the heels of Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos' renewed promise to keep WB Studio films in theaters for at least 45 days before hitting streaming. Are the wheelings and dealings finally settling down enough to let the ink dry on the industry-changing acquisition?
I'm not an expert on huge corporate mergers or investor relations, but unfortunately Jay is sick and can't be here to explain this to us. Like, we're 10 years old, which is what we really need. But this to me reads as, we want this deal to go through, and we want it to go through as quickly as possible, and that's why they did this. It almost makes me want to take back everything I just said about the box office. If he sticks to that 45 days only in the theater thing, I don't think that that's a successful film model. But I'm not the CEO of Netflix, and he is. So yeah, it's a push. They wanted to get this done. They rejected the hostile offers. Like, they want this to happen, so it is definitely going to happen. What I'd be curious about, and I didn't have time today, unfortunately, to read the article, so I might be speaking out of school, but the time frame. Is this a several years down the road thing? Is this going to happen in 2027? I don't know how long it takes for something of this magnitude to complete, and I imagine it'll be a couple years at least, but it's still the ick, but it's the ick we're going to have to stick with.
Yeah, all the merging in general is an ick vibe, but I do think this is likely to happen. At least they were saying like 17 days in theaters prior, so this commitment to 45 at least is good. It's a move in the right direction, and 45 days is not. That doesn't feel that short to me compared to what we've been getting.
Month and a half.
Like, I feel like that's basically what we get these days. Like, on demand is about a month and a half out. Like, that's just kind of where it's been. It's close to status quo. I mean, I'm kind of guessing there. What do you guys know what the status quo is? For sure.
Oh, like Wicked is still in theaters. That was released in November. So, same with Hamnet. I mean, I think it depends on the film, and I think it depends on the
of course, yeah.
distributor.
Yeah, I just know a lot of movies. Yeah. So saying a guarantee of 45 days, not that saying they can't go longer, but guaranteeing 45 days feels like more like par for course than 17 days would have, which is what they're talking about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I like describing the whole merger situation as the ick, because I still maintain, like, in a perfect world, this wouldn't be going down. Warner Brothers would be able to maintain its autonomy as an independent studio, and we'd have, you know, more places and different voices and just not that, you know, conglomerate kind of taking over everything, which is always kind of scary. So, you know, I've kind of felt like I've been a little bit of the devil's advocate when it comes to Paramount, but I'm honestly at the point where it's just like, I hope this shuts them up, because I'm just ready for it to be done at this point. And like, the Ellisons really have come across as like petulant at this point, and you really just can't save face when it gets to that. So this does feel like you said, Haley, they just want it to be done. I'm ready for it to be done. I don't necessarily want to rush it, because ultimately I don't really want it to happen, but I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it, because it seems like it's a done deal, except for the whining of a few choice, very, very loud and vocal people. So again, what kind of impact it will have on the industry, I think it's going to be huge. We really won't know the ramifications until we're in it. So I think you're right. It's going to take at least a couple of years, probably more than that, to really start to see the consequences of this acquisition start to take place. But yeah, thinking back on it, you know, I've long maintained, like, I don't really trust a word that comes out of Ted Sarandos's mouth when it comes to, you know, trying to preserve the theatrical experience. But 45 days, like, I was thinking back on it, the November release, The Running Man, I don't even think that stuck around for a full 45 days, because it just didn't perform. So
right. I
think it will be one of those situations where they're going to have to adapt, no matter what they say. You know, 45 days, if a movie is blowing up and you know, doing absolute gangbusters, it behooves them to extend it. But is that even a possibility when people just kind of automatically know, oh, I wait a month and a half, this will be hitting my streaming service that I'm already paying for. As much as I want to go see this in the theater, I can wait a month and a half. Just kind of having that set in stone, I do think will discourage people when it's more nebulous, and it's like, oh, well, I don't know when this is going to hit streaming, and I really want to see it, so I better see it sooner rather than later, versus, hey, a month and a half, I can wait that. I just can't deny the kind of the fear that I have as far as that impact goes. So yeah, we'll see if we're still talking about this next week, but maybe we can take a little bit of a break.
All right. Well, we'll be back with more stories when we get back with the lightning round coming up. We've got our first look at Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. Ryan Hurst has been cast as Kratos, and a Speedy Gonzalez film is in the works. Don't go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to Multiverse News. Hey, we have a Patreon, you guys. It's a Patreon. It's how you support the show. You know Patreon. People have been talking about it on the internet for like 10 years, 15 years. You just go over there, you pledge some money, you put in your information, and it just gives us $4 of your dollars every month. And that way, we can make a show and keep making it, and hopefully grow it and do more things. And you just get to help us eat. And that's nice. We really appreciate that. We need to eat. So go to patreon.com/multiverse newscast, and it's $4 a month. You get ad-free access, access to special episodes that only show up there, tangent talks as we call them, and we send you a sticker, Haley, a sticker touched by the hands of Haley Hobbs. Is sent directly to you, and yeah, do that. $4 a month. Come on. And our patron of the week this week is Dominic Clive. Thank you, Dominic. We appreciate you.
It's a strong name.
It is. It sounds like a famous person.
Kind of like Clive Owen. But
yeah, Clive Owen, Dominique Monaghan. Like those both names have strong fame connections. It feels like, and they go well together. We're really glazing this patron of the week this week. We don't know anything about you, Dominique Clive, but your name, you sound epic. Spotify poll for this week. Which was your favorite Doomsday teaser trailer? I found this fascinating. 5% of you said Thor. Second and third place were tied. Steve Rogers, 16% of you, and the Wakandan trailer was 16% of you. And as for the number one, 60% of you said X-Men.
It's not that surprising, is it?
No,
People
I
love
don't.
the X-Men.
I guess I thought it would be more distributed, and I really think a lot. This almost going to make this the poll for this week, because like I want to know what makes them, like, just the iconography of the X-Men and them really coming finally to the MCU feels like such a big deal. That loving touch between Magneto and Charles was so good, but I feel like the moment that makes everyone love that trailer is just that Cyclops optic blast. It's so epic. It looks like every splash page awesome comic book that I've ever seen, and I want it, you know?
Yeah, it's also the handoff that occurs to the dialogue that you're getting from Magneto. He says, "Who will you be when you close your eyes?" And then you have Cyclops opening his eyes wide and just unrelenting. It's just really well done.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination nostalgia on top of nostalgia.
I think that's true. Yeah, and a little, like you mentioned earlier, absence making the heart grow fonder, Jay Scotty, and I think like we weren't sure we were ever going to see these characters again. And we didn't really know until the chairs for sure that we were getting them in this movie, and like now we're seeing them on screen heading towards Doom. You know, like what does that mean? We're finally going to see these characters in the same place, and that's cool. And it's just been so long. I mean, what was it? Days of Future Past was the last time we saw this Cyclops. James Marsters.
If
Cyclops.
you're not counting the archival footage from Deadpool, yes.
Okay, and I'm not. But no, the first time we've seen new footage of Cyclops in quite a while. So that's the and even that Days of Future Past, he's only in one scene as like a little nod to him. Him coming back as like a full-fledged character hasn't been since First Class. I mean, he wasn't in First Class, but like First Class was the Cyclops.
No, he was not in First Class.
James Marsters wasn't. Cyclops was, but. Wait, no, Cyclops wasn't.
I don't think Cyclops was.
No, you're right.
Havoc was.
I was thinking of X-Men Origins Wolverine that had the,
X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was in that?
There was a young Cyclops, but it wasn't James Marsden.
Okay, yeah. So it's been a really long time since I keep saying Marsters. James Marsters is a guy who plays. I always get those two names confused. James Marsters plays in Buffy.
Yeah.
James Marsden.
Marsden. It's been a while since Famke Janssen melted him.
Yeah. That was that the last time we saw him? Was X3?
Like in earnest in universe, I think so. Yeah.
At the beginning, yeah.
Wow, X3. The very few.
So.
Yeah, you're right. That's the last time. Crazy. So yeah, that in itself feels crazy epic. And I guess it's the last time we've seen X3 was the last time we saw this Magneto and Charles too, right? Except for Multiverse Madness.
They were in Days of Future Past.
In Future Pants, yeah.
They were okay. Yeah, I get that universe is hard to follow.
It is.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I will say about this poll. I said last week my favorite is the Thor one. Mostly because it emotionally moved me. Like I just got really emotionally moved by the speech. I thought that line of not as a warrior but as warmth. That's just such an epic Thor line, and it's just so personal, you know. And I love that. And so only 5% of people agree with me on that. So. All right, well, let's move into the lightning round. This is where I'm going to read a story, and we will shout out our names to claim that story, and we will comment on that story if we claimed it, and then once per lightning round, we get one rebuttal in case we missed something. Here we go. Prime Video has released a first-look photo of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft in the upcoming Tomb Raider series, which has begun production.
Scotty, she looks like Lara Croft.
She really does.
So, Yeah, she wasn't my first choice, but I have an open mind. Definitely willing to give her a chance, and just knowing the talent behind the camera, including Fleabag creator. I'm not going to pull the name right now, but
Phoebe
knowing that she
Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Thank you. Yeah, just knowing that she's at the helm gives me a lot of confidence in this one. And yeah, she looks like Lara Croft. So at least from a aesthetic and costuming perspective, this production is off on the right foot.
Hans Zimmer, who has scored more than 500 movies and TV projects, will officially score the upcoming Harry Potter series for HBO Max in partnership with Bleeding Fingers Music, a composer collective that he co-founded.
Haley, I don't like to talk about the Harry Potter stuff, but yeah, Hans Zimmer is a fantastic composer, so it's always, this Harry Potter stuff is bittersweet because there's a lot of, creative talent behind it that is enjoyable, but then there's the other thing. So yeah.
Indeed.
I'll chime in with a quick rebuttal just to say Hans Zimmer I think he's most well known for kind of his like big booming bass kind of synthy scores like you see in Dune, or his collaborations with Christopher Nolan. But just taking a quick look at his body of work, he has done things like Madagascar and Megamind. So it makes sense that they would, choose him for Harry Potter. And again, this being the first season that's kind of going back and focusing on that first book, where that is a series where I think as the characters matriculated, you saw the content kind of mature too. So it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with the show the whole way through, and kind of you see that evolution in the themes as well.
I'll throw out a thought too. I'm just now hearing them talk about making the music, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. I guess I almost assumed they would like borrow, and they still may borrow themes and such from the original movies because those are sort of indelible for people, but maybe not. I just think of like things like Superman. When you get a new Superman, you still somewhere in there is going to be that John Williams score. You know what I mean? And I was thinking it would be something similar, but they may be trying to completely separate themselves and do completely their own thing. And Hans Zimmer feels like that kind of choice. But now I've got myself sitting here thinking like, okay, so we do this for 10 years, a series of Harry Potter. Then we take a few years off, and then they're going to do like 10 years of movies, like new movies of Harry Potter, and then like 10 more years of a series. It just feels like a thing they could do over and over because it is such a beloved thing that they could just keep making this thing. But that feels so creatively bereft, I guess, to just keep mining the same books. All right. Sons of Anarchy star Ryan Hurst has been cast as main character Kratos in Amazon's upcoming God of War series, which is currently confirmed for 2 seasons and has begun pre-production. Teresa Palmer was also cast last week to play Sif, Thor's wife and the goddess of family.
Scotty, I did not see this casting coming from a mile away, but I love it. And I think one of the big reasons I didn't see it coming is because Ryan Hurst has already been a part of the God of War franchise. In the most recent video game, God of War Ragnarok, he actually voiced Thor. So I just think that's why I didn't even consider him. The fact that you're going to take the antagonist of your last game and make him the protagonist of the series, just didn't see it coming. But I like Ryan Hurst a lot. He was a standout in Sons of Anarchy, and just in terms of, physically being able to inhabit the role, but also emotionally. His character on Sons of Anarchy was a very tortured soul, but also a very loyal kind of warrior. So I think that's very in keeping with Kratos, and I'm excited to see him in the makeup, and I'm sure he's going to put on at least a little bit more muscle. I mean, he's a big guy already, but Kratos is, you want the veins throbbing and popping. Sorry for the illusion there.
All right, throbbing and popping aside, here we go. Cate Blanchett has signed a deal to reprise her role as Viking warrior Valka in Universal Pictures live-action How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Scotty, not super surprising because much like Gerard Butler, she voiced the character, and yeah, it says it right here. She's reprising her role, right? So Gerard Butler was able to make that transition. I think it's only fair that Kate Blanchett is given the same opportunity. And I don't remember How to Train Your Dragon 2 as well as I remember the first one, but we'll see if it's another shot-for-shot remake. You know, I give Disney a lot of flack when they do that, but you know, How to Train Your Dragon did it too, and for whatever reason, it just worked a little bit better for me. Maybe it is the lack of familiarity with the franchise as beloved as it is.
Warner Brothers has set Jorge R. Gutierrez to direct an animated feature centering on the classic Looney Tunes character Speedy Gonzales. The Hollywood Reporter has exclusively learned.
Hey, wait, where's the Acme movie, first of all? Come on,
Right?
guys. Let's not be going down this road again. This is Jay's Roman Empire, and he's not here to talk about it.
Yeah. To be a fly on the wall in the pitch meeting for this, because like in an era where we're canceling Pepe Le Pew and they're taking the guns away from
I forgot we
Looney
canceled
Tunes characters, yeah, they must have some profound pitch when it comes to Speedy Gonzales, and
Yeah.
very curious to see what they're going to do with it.
It is interesting as you say, in an era, it is doing the Speedy Gonzales accent is not something I would do right here, on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing that like I would, but, it makes me wonder how much they'll sort of change the way he was such a character that was like very I really liked Speedy Gonzales a lot as a kid, but like a lot of his character was just yelling catchphrases in a Mexican voice, you know, like it's just a thing that like I wonder how much he will still be that and how much they will he'll probably be played by Chris Pratt, and it won't be an issue now that I think about
I call him Speedy G.
I think worst case scenario and kind of what I fear is that, you know, Hollywood being Hollywood, they're like, people like those Sonic movies. Those Sonic movies make a lot of money. We got a fast guy over here.
That's funny. Yeah. I haven't seen the Sonic movies, but the more and more they expand, I've said this many times on the cast.
They're better than they have any right to be.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing they're better than they have a right to be. And
James Marsden.
James Marsden. There's some. What is it? What else was James Marsden in? There's something.
Hop, because there's the meme about him
Yes.
sitting in cars with animated.
Yeah, it's like him in a
creatures,
car with Sonic and him in a car with the Hop bunny, and it's a very funny image. Like, what did James Marsden decide to do with his career? Just this, play with CGI characters. But no, I think that Sorry, I got distracted by James Marsden, as happens.
That happens.
Handsome man.
He's a handsome man. But no, what were we just talking about? Fuck.
Speedy
Sonic.
Gonzales.
Sorry.
Sonic.
I always get excited about a series. Going back to Sonic, I always get excited about a series when it like has too many. Like, I didn't watch any of the Saw movies because they're not my thing. But then there were 9 of them, and I got curious, and I went and watched all 9. Like,
Wow.
For some reason, when something gets a lot of episodes in it or a lot of outings, I'm like, there's got to be something to it, right? Like, and even if nothing else, that's one of the reasons Bingers Assemble exists, is because it's like I find it very interesting to watch multiple of something and kind of compare and contrast the movies across how they develop and how they change and what wells they go back to versus what they avoid. You know, like I find all that really interesting. So I'm starting to feel like I need to go watch all the Sonic movies. is I guess what I'm saying, and. Maybe we'll get a Sonic. Maybe we'll get a Sonic and Speedy Gonzales, multiverse.
Speedy G's nemesis? Like, who's he always running away from?
I don't know.
Sylvester?
Is it Sylvester the cat?
Oh,
I think it might be. But
Okay. I couldn't remember. So
I
I
have
was
real
genuinely curious.
weird. I literally don't know. And like just talking about Speedy Gonzales, I feel like I remember him like fighting off like almost like an Old West style. Like he fought off criminals and stuff, but I don't remember what animals they were. I remember him like saving towns and stuff. Like he's like a
Rango.
He was like a gunslinger kind of character, but
better.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's been so long since I've seen a Speedy Gonzales thing.
I could see it.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, I think Sylvester popped up in at least a couple of cartoons. But you may be right. I think he might have even been like going up against like bandits, like human bandits that are just you never really see their faces.
It's a David and Goliath thing.
That's exactly what it was in my brain, is that he went against bandits, but I really just don't know. Or banditos, I guess. Is that it? It feels
Anyway.
Yeah. It like feels it's so it's one of those things like
chat is confirming it is Sylvester the cat. Nemesis. Okay. So good pull.
Good job.
Oh, and Yosemite Sam. I forgot about Yosemite Sam.
What in
Looney Tunes, man.
And apparently later Daffy Duck, apparently too. Apparently according to the internet.
Okay.
All right.
Daffy is everybody's nemesis.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to go. I just have like.
We spent too long on this. Let's move on.
Whatever. Never long enough. Never long enough. They're making a Speedy Gonzalez movie. I'm weirded out by it. And it's hard to talk about.
Looney Tunes verse.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's it for our show. That's all the stories we got. Let's go around and tell the people where we can find us online, what we got going on this week. Jay Scotty?
Yeah, still kind of quiet on the podcasting front, but check out all the shows on the Stranded Panda Podcast Network. And on behalf of Jay, who's under the weather today, check out the Commute the Podcast for him.
Are you busy right after this? You want to do a short Fallout cast and catch up?
Sure, let's do it.
Like 20 minutes. We'll do a short one.
Sure.
I've been wanting to do it, but like it's been really hard, and then it kept feeling bigger and bigger, where it's like, we're 5 episodes in. I can't talk about all 5 episodes. We just record it right now, and then, we'll have something out. Haley, what you got going on?
Yep, super busy with Outlander, Unqualified Opinions, and then Brian and James Hewings and I talked about the Old Republic Fatal Alliance. We finally got to it. None of us really cared for the book that much, but we had a good conversation about the Lucasfilm stuff over there as well. So go check out source pages for that.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I bet with Brian that'll be a really fun conversation to hear his and your thoughts on the Star Wars of it all. And I'm right here on Multiverse News and the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. We're starting Wonder Man, which drops all at once. Did we talk about this on our show?
I think we were operating under that assumption.
I was not at all.
Okay.
I was not at all. And like,
plug in, Matt.
Listen,
Come on.
I rely on this podcast to give me all of my geek news.
Matt, let me teach you about the internet and the magical powers that it has.
No, I listen to podcasts and also host podcasts where I read words that tell me what's going on.
The good news is they're short episodes. And they dropped the the episode titles today on the Marvel socials.
we talked about that on the MCU cast, and then that's when I realized they're dropping all at once, and I was like, how did I not know this, first off? And I figured
a bummer, but
it is a huge bummer. I hate it. I'm mad about it. I think it's stupid. I could get more explicit, but I'll leave it. Yeah.
The optics aren't good.
The optics are real shitty. This is the third series.
The reviews are really good, though, the early reviews.
I have no doubt. It's got Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Ben Kingsley. Like, what? And I've been watching all these little shorts. And
it looks so fun.
Did you guys do the thing where you sign up for the phone, the texts from Trevor?
No.
I heard about it, but I never did it.
Yeah, I talked about it on the MCU cast. There's a thing where you could text some number to some number, and it would tell you about Trevor would tell you his acting lessons, and so they've been sending like little audio clips of him like, "Hello, I would like to tell you today about how to harness an actor's blah blah blah." It's been very fun. Just little like 30-second audio clips of Trevor Slattery giving you acting lessons every once in a while. They've been fun. So I'm really excited for the show, no doubt. But yeah, you said it, Jay Scotty. Really bad optics on this. This is the third show that I can think of off the top of my head that they've thrown out all at once. No, fourth, Wakanda. The Eyes of Wakanda was dropped all at once as well. All 4 are some of the less rare in Phase 4 and 5 and 6, but like shows that don't like the main protagonist is not a white male, and it's like it's just like Ironheart, Echo, Eyes of Wakanda.
Once, but it was the weird like let's do 3 episodes.
Oh, that's right. It was 3 and 3 or something like that. That was better, but I still think that just throwing them out like this, it just feels like throwing it away. when you could try to capture the zeitgeist with it. Anyway, conversation we've had 1,000 times, but it's just a new level of pissed because I'm really excited for Wonder Man. It looks awesome.
And what's on the horizon? Like, why blow? Sorry for the euphemism. Remember, why blow your load? There's nothing for Marvel for the foreseeable future. Like, let it go for a
Daredevil
little while.
starts in March, but we don't know when.
But it's
so
March.
only. I understand. I don't. But if they didn't want to do a week, that's the only quote reason that isn't a bad looking reason that there is. But we don't even know when it's dropping in March.
I could see a stupid Marvel executive, a very, very stupid one, thinking that like, well, maybe we don't want something coming out every week. You know what I mean? Like maybe they want the absence.
It may not be
thing.
Marvel. It may be Disney.
Absolutely,
we don't know.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And more likely, that's the case.
Yeah, for sure. Marvel's creating the stuff, but Disney's probably deciding how it goes out to some degree. And maybe they want a little gap before Daredevil so there can be a little build up and excitement, and like absence of the MCU makes the heart grow fonder sort of thing. But
yeah, that's fair.
But it sucks.
It sucks.
It does.
It just sucks because as a fan, I would like to watch something from Marvel every week. I would much rather watch something and talk about it and enjoy it for what it is instead of feeling rushed to watch eight episodes in one day or whatever. That's stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's something we probably should have talked about a month ago, but I didn't realize it. We'll be back soon, guys. Peace.
You stay classy, Multiverse.
All right. You still want to talk about Fallout, Jay Scotty? Sorry
we can do it.
to spring that on you. I'm going to stop
No,
the
it's all good.
recording. And we get people on the internet. Y'all want us to stay online while we talk about Fallout? Stay on the YouTubes. I guess it doesn't really hurt.
I hear Cora. That was not my dog barking. Thank you very much.
Oh,
She's
that was my
asleep
dog.
in the corner, like the cat that she is.
My dog was barking a little bit ago.
It's real cold in my basement. All right, I'll get this uploaded. And
Yeah.
you guys can do your thing.
All right, yeah, everything's uploaded here. So cool.
Okay.
Yeah, Haley, thanks. That was a
Bye.
great show. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Toodles.
You're huge.
I am.
Sorry, when she left, your head filled up the size of both of you. So
Incoming message from the big giant head.
I was just watching a little bit of that show.
Oh, really?
It was just like a TikTok thing. I was watching some shorts, and so there wasn't much, but I watched a little bit of
It
it.
was the better part of 10 years ago now, but I went back and tried to rewatch it. I think I got through like season 3 where I kind of tapered off, but it was one of my favorite shows. Like, I didn't watch with super regularity, but whenever it was on the TV, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it when I was young.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever watched it with regularity, even when it was first on. I liked it, but I liked all the people on it, and I liked the concept. Obviously, I like a good sci-fi show.
Sure.
But it's funny. Like it's funny how many of those there are. It felt kind of a bygone era because it felt like Alf or Mork and Mindy.
Sure.
That sort of thing, but a little more cynical humor, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Chat asked a question. What did chat ask? Matt, can you look at the chat? I asked a question. I don't. Oh, did you tag it?
David Brewer. Let me
Maybe.
scroll back up.
Ask it again, David. It's a long chat. I can't read everything. If you ever have a thing you want us to address, if you tag us, say @StrandedPanda, it like lights it up on our screen so we can see it better. And sometimes we even like go back and read those.
I'm still. Oh, here we go. I think I found it. What's the incentive to go to the theaters if a film will only be released for 45 days or less? But maybe that's not the one he's talking about.
Oh, well, I mean, I definitely agree that the less time.
Oh no, he did tag you.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
to cut you off. He's asking about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on Always Watching. Will you be covering?
Oh, I was wondering about that. I didn't even realize it was coming out until I logged on to HBO today and saw that the first episode had dropped. I don't know. Is the answer.
I almost put the fact that it was premiering as a third feature before the Netflix cash deal news dropped. But I didn't watch it, but I was like, I bet a couple of you guys probably did. And
yeah, we've talked about it before, but I think it would be a really great feature on Multiverse News if we just had like a what's premiering this week feature.
Sure.
Even if just for like it's so hard to keep up these days. I mean, it'd be hard for us to keep up too, but like if we're doing it for a show, we'd take the time maybe. Yeah, sorry about that, David. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't highlight the tag. That's weird. I don't see your tag anywhere. But yeah, or maybe I don't have it anywhere. Sorry about that. But no, the Seven Kingdoms. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I don't know. We've been trying to do Fallout, which is what we're gonna do right now. But and it is. Yeah. We have not had time to get together on it.
Quick,
oh yeah, go for it. I'm gonna change the title so people don't mistakenly. Fallout review. Watch out. Okay. How do we get to the stream? I lost the stream. There we go. Okay, we're gonna talk a little about Fallout for this season. Boing, bing. It's hard to get him, Deadpool. Get him. Get him. Sorry. I'm liking Fallout. I mean, we're about to talk about it, so I won't spoil for the cast, but it's pretty good. I the show's just so good, always. Okay, you ready? Scoots, you ready?
Yeah. Where'd you go though?
Oh, did I go away?
I just needed to close the thing that said your files have finished uploading.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, I'm hitting record on my end.
Okay, I will do the same.
All right.
I did want to call out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You good? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
Cool. What were you gonna ask or say?
While I was using the restroom, I could still hear you, and I heard you say you lost the stream, and I kind of had to chuckle to myself. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not having that problem currently.
It's obviously fine for you to pee with your headphones in, but it feels wrong. Like it feels like you're, because like you're on a call with me.
Violation.
I can't hear you, but it feels weird to be that I'm live being a part of your bathroom behavior.
Strange. I won't. It is a little strange.
All right, let's do it. Let's make this real short because I gotta edit 2 tonight. But,
yeah, no problem. And I gotta knock out those things myself.
We'll talk about it on the cast. Today on Always Watching, we're catching up on Fallout. There's 5 episodes out. My goodness, I'm so sorry. Many of you have written in, you guys said you were doing Fallout. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we're doing Fallout. We're going to talk about it here just to catch up, and then we'll do it, hopefully, more. All that right after this. Welcome to Always Watching, the Stranded Panda podcast where we talk about all the geeky TV shows we feel like talking about. My name's Matthew Carroll, and with me, we have J. Scotty St. Clair. What's going on, bud?
Hey. Feeling like I'm flying by the seat of my pants a little bit.
Same.
Normally I like to go into these podcasts having recently rewatched and taken some notes and having some quotes at the ready. But yeah, I really feel like I have been thrust into the wasteland and kind of have to just respond accordingly. So all that being said, okie dokie feels appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. We were literally doing Multiverse News together just now. And I was like, man, we've been talking about doing Fallout. And what happened is we just couldn't get it together for a few weeks. It was around Christmas time, stuff was going on, and like I just couldn't get we couldn't get it together. And then like and then it kept feeling too big. Like it could be like, okay, well, now 2 episodes, now it's 3 episodes. I got to rewatch all that. So I'm just calling it. We're gonna talk for like 20 minutes about how the first half of the season went, and then we'll be caught up, and we'll try to get on more often now that once we're caught up. I think it's a good just get it out there.
All right.
So I'll just say one of the reasons I didn't podcast after the first episode is I thought those seasons started out kind of weak.
Agreed.
And interesting you say that. I'm happy to hear what you think. I thought it started out with the first couple episodes. I was not inspired to talk about it, which is one of the reasons I wasn't rushing to podcast. Is I felt like there is nothing new happening here. It felt like it was kind of reestablishing the characters from last season to be like, which is the thing you do in a season 2. You kind of like, hey, remember what was happening? But it kind of felt like it took too long of that. And I didn't really get what was going on in this season that is important. They're just chasing her dad. You know what I mean? Like that was the whole thing.
Right.
It didn't feel very much like the story had gotten going. And now I feel like it has gotten going. I'm feeling it a lot more now. But I think that's part of the reason I got behind is I was not feeling the first couple episodes. Not that they were bad, but they just weren't anything worth talking about in a way.
Yeah, I think I found myself kind of experiencing a little bit of a flip-flop from season 1 where, I haven't really had the time to contemplate how the binge model versus like the weekly release, how that's impacting the show and the conversation around it, because normally we're the exact opposite. We're saying, hey, release it weekly so we can have this conversation around it. And they're doing it this time and we're not. So it's just kind of, it's interesting that they dropped the first season all at once and we broke those up 2 by 2. And I really was like, at that time, like I couldn't wait to watch each subsequent episode because I felt like they were just weaving such a compelling narrative and really giving the characters a lot to chew on. And to your point, I think this season kind of started off with characters more or less being reestablished as they were and kind of reminding us who they are. But I say all that to say, like, I remember in season 1, I was always more interested in the Ghoul and Lucy. And Maximus was always a little bit of like, I liked him, but his story was never as compelling to me. And in the first couple episodes, it was the opposite. I was like, okay, Lucy and the Ghoul are still doing their thing, but I'm actually really compelled by what's going on with Maximus. I love this world.
Totally agree.
For the Brotherhood of Steel, bringing in Kumail Nanjiani as this kind of flyboy knight of the Brotherhood of Steel, and their interactions. And so yeah, I think it took a little bit, but the show found its footing. And once I think for the Ghoul, Walton Goggins, Cooper Howard, where I've really been able to latch onto his characters, the flashbacks, and seeing how he contended with, the knowledge that he had. Basically, his partner was helping to orchestrate the end of the world, and he's caught between it all. And then on the flip side of things, Lucy, once she started to actually have the wasteland impact her in the way the Ghoul kind of has been forecasting and predicting for so long, once she does the drugs, she gets addicted to the drugs, she is blowing people's head off with a shotgun, trying to maim them at first, but then saying, screw it, I'm going for the head. That's where her character started to evolve and be more interesting to me. So I feel like where we're at right now, I'm feeling a lot better about the trajectory of the season.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm so behind you when you're talking about the Brotherhood of Steel plotline. Like I was just, and I think part of it is, as I said at the top, I think the Lucy and the Ghoul, which is always going to sound like a band name to me,
Sure.
but Lucy and the Ghoul running around in the wasteland just kind of feels like we're still watching the same 2 characters having the same conversation philosophically about what happens when you go through hard times. Like, who do you become? You're going to be more like me. And then Lucy rubbing off on him rubbing off on Lucy. This sort of, that's the conversation the show wants to have. And I think that's great. Like, I'm so interested in that story. But the first couple episodes really did feel like it was just reiterating that idea. Like, hey, remember who Lucy and the Ghoul are?
Right.
But the stuff with Brotherhood of Steel was fresh and new and interesting. And just him being in this place of power now and being the guy he was with like a good heart but always having been put in these situations to sort of be indoctrinated into doing dark things. And his one of the first scenes in the season, I think maybe in the second episode, was his backstory of him surviving in the refrigerator.
The flashback, yeah.
So compelling. It gave new life to his character for me that I never had in the first season. This new context, you know. So I really, really have been loving that storyline. And Kumail Nanjiani was awesome. I can't believe they killed him off in this episode 5. Right. He's really unceremonious. Same thing with Macaulay Culkin.
That's pretty funny.
Hold on one second. My dogs are barking, and it's going to sound really annoying.
Sure.
Skylar, be nice. Sorry, dogs are barking. She's yelling at them in a rude way. Yeah, Kamali Culkin. Sorry, that's really funny. But no, Macaulay Culkin, his character too, like a great, an interesting actor to put in this show. And then I think he's dead. I don't know for sure, but it seems like something that show seems like it has established itself to do. I don't remember this from the first season. I may be wrong. They did these sort of vignettes where you meet. It's very much like the game where you meet a group. You have a little interaction with them, and then you sort of like move our characters move on through the wasteland, you know. And those characters might come back. In this season, we've already seen characters come back from season 1.
Yeah,
but it's interesting that they're doing this thing where they're bringing in celebrities to be those sort of like characters that you only interact with for an episode or two.
Yeah. I'd be really surprised if the faction that Macaulay Culkin was a part of, the Caesar's Legion or
Kaiser's
Legion, as they point out in the game. But that it was nice to see Macaulay in the role. He led a lot of pedigree and gravitas to the very limited role. But I think that was one of the instances kind of in the early season where, to your point, it was. I mean, I wasn't bored by what I was seeing, but ultimately just to have it be like, oh yeah, the ghoul's a bad guy. He's willing to take out an entire faction to get what he wants, and what he wants is Lucy here. Thematically, it could have landed with a little bit more potency.
Oh,
I think
interesting.
Something,
but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Oh, am I mistaken?
Sorry, not to, sort of. So he did take out the faction to get what he wants, but the idea was that faction was this sort of, at least it set it up as that faction was sort of this petulant, sort of like just having a war for no reason faction that was was very silly. But the NCR, is that right? NCR?
New California Republic. Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
The NCR, he had given them the names and the location of the NCR as a way of like getting her back. And that was his big like double cross. He was about to give up the people who've helped him for hundreds of years. He decided to do it. Then so blowing up that dynamite was actually him inverting it. And he said like, what did you do? And he's like, probably something good and something dumb or something like that. And like,
yeah, you're right.
So that was one of his first big moments of like the ghoul actually did a thing that's good that he could have, like, the NCR is no threat to him. These guys could be a threat to him, but he did the thing to help the people that have helped him, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I had forgotten about that fold. So yeah, thanks for bringing that back up. And that's
it's hard to cover 5 episodes at once.
yeah, and I've only seen them the one time each. I haven't done any rewatching.
Same.
Yeah. What do you think about Justin Theroux's Robert House?
I'm liking him. Okay. I don't have a strong. I've not played the game, the New Vegas or whatever. Not New Vegas. That's a different game, right?
It is Fallout New Vegas. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There's a Rainbow Six Vegas game too, right?
There is, yes.
And that's what I was getting confused. Yeah, so Fallout New Vegas. I haven't played the game, but sorry. I haven't played the game, so I think his character's from the game, right?
He is, yes.
So I don't have that connection. So far, I just find him kind of nondescript until that last scene where he really talks to Coop and has that like, I know what's happening, I know the future, like all that stuff was really interesting, and like, man, I think you're just a nutcase, you know, like that was all really good. So I'm really excited for where that's going. And he said, this guy who is claiming to have all knowledge of everything and be able to predict the future, he's saying he doesn't believe that it's Coop's wife that's responsible. Did you catch that?
I didn't. When was that revelation?
He says like, who's gonna drop the bomb? Like it could be this person, it could be this person.
Yeah, they say somebody says when the bombs drop, it'll be Robert House that pushes the button. Right?
Well, no, this is Robert House talking to Coop in this last episode, and as he's given his little soliloquy about how the bombs are coming, and he seems to imply it might be the ghoul who drops the bomb. Like he seems to think like he has this line, I'm trying to remember the exact line. He said it's something like, we both heard what she said in that meeting, because apparently he also was listening in on that meeting, that where she said, he's like, we both heard what she said in that meeting, but I don't think she's the one who's going to do it. It could be this person. It could be this person. He says, I think it won't be me. Like, he's like, I'm not the one who's going to drop them. And he's like, but you're an X factor, and I don't know about you, or something like that. Like, I don't know if you're the kind of guy who's going to do this. It basically, I don't know that he's saying the Coop will do it, but he did seem to throw shade at the idea that it was her and possibly that it was the company. And it like, it gave me this idea that like maybe the mystery's not over. Like it felt like last season, like the mystery of the bomb drop was over. We know that it's, I didn't even know if we continue the flashbacks, honestly, because they were like, that was a big revelation. And when he realized, and it changes the whole context of why he's looking for his wife, you know, like he's looking for his wife, and it seemed like this altruistic thing for the first chunk of the show, but then like you find out she's the one who dropped the bomb and he knows it, and you're like, oh my gosh, is he looking for his wife to save her or kill her? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But now Robert House seems to be throwing water on that idea and saying like, that's what you think right now, but you may be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I like that interpretation. I'm also thinking maybe he's just being very choice with his words, because there have been some allusions to Coop's involvement with Robert House and his desire for the cold fusion, or his, seeking of the cold fusion technology. And that robot, I can't remember, it's like Tex or Travis or something. It's like, howdy, partner.
Yeah.
And so like, weren't you involved with those back? Mr. House isn't around anymore. He wasn't able to get the cold fusion. Didn't you have a hand in that? And I think some of the NCR soldiers make references to his involvement in that struggle as well. So maybe it's kind of like a threat. Everyone else knows to give me what I want because of the power I wield. And if you're the one wild card that's going to go against me, you will be, indirectly responsible for the bombs dropping.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I also, I can't remember the exact verbiage as well, but somewhere in the back of my mind, and this could just be with my exposure to the lore of Fallout from the games and what have you, but I also got the sense that in the Fallout universe, we've never known if it was the United States or China that dropped the bombs first, like who pulled the trigger first. And definitely with some of the revelations we got towards the end of the episodes we're talking about here, like, even though all the soldiers are taken out by the Death Claw, there was, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're definitely saying like, hey, we're going to take this T-45 armor and reverse engineer it. So if they're doing that, I would,
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole first season seemed to have this like very simple trajectory of like, the bombs happened, we don't know what happened, and it sort of like reveals, the big reveal is like the company. Of course it's the company. Of course it's the billionaires playing with their little experiments. This season just seems to be introducing a few new ideas. And the Death Claws in general, like what are the Death Claws? Like do we know? Are the experiments from Vault Tech?
Well, yeah, that's just the fascinating thing, is that they existed before the bombs dropped, so they're not a byproduct of
radiation.
They are experiments. And in the games, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they are chameleons that have been experimented on. So you don't see that in all of their physiology. Like, yeah. So they don't have, the eyes that look in opposite directions, like placed on the side of their head or anything like that. But there are certainly other aspects of their physiology with like the horns. There are certainly, some species of chameleons with some horns. One of the things they haven't showed us in the show, but it's a big thing in the game, is they do have the ability to camouflage. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I see, like, and having not played the games at all, the Deathclaw meant nothing to me, and I was like, why are there demons in this show all of a sudden? Like, I don't
There's a
understand.
Balrog here.
Yeah, it was you shall not pass. Like, what is going on? Hold up. Before you pass, I need you to explain to me who you are and why you're here.
You shall not pass, partner.
I'm looking at. We got people writing feedback a little bit. The dogs are.
Yeah. Well, one of the other characters and kind of story thrust we haven't really talked about is Norm, and him having some agency and going outside the vault himself, following Lucy's footsteps.
Yes. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just
no,
agreeing with you.
not at all. That was one of those storylines. I think that was one of the minor gripes I had about the first couple of episodes. Even that storyline itself felt like it took a while to get going, but now that they are out in the wasteland and he has this very viable threat, and I can't remember the character's name, but the guy that was basically the assistant to Bud Askins, like in the last episode he was choking him out, wasn't he? I'm fuzzy on what was the resolution of that. Like, he had Norm on the ground dead to rights.
Yeah, he was trying to kill Norm, and I'm not remembering how he gets out of it. I want to say that the girl who went to get them snacks or something came back and helped him, maybe, but I honestly don't remember. Or did it just go off?
I feel like the scene may have ended with us not knowing, because I really can't recall, and I'm not.
I can't recall either.
Other details.
I thought for sure that she was going to walk back in, because she seemed not fully bought in. The girl who had the new hire, who was supposedly not really that. She wasn't a true believer. In the company,
she was hired that week, because Norm was like, "What a week for you! You were hired and saw the world end, and wake up 250 years later, all within the same week." Yeah. That'll take a toll.
Yeah, I'm loving. I mean, the show's so good, and it does such a good job of representing the idea of Fallout and the way the game works, where you're interacting with all these different factions. And Norm is sort of our protagonist for that section. He's like, I guess if you're playing the game, you'd be playing as Norm, and suddenly you have this like whole team of people working around you, doing all this stuff for you, and then you have to deal with the inner politics of being in a group, this person is a true believer who wants to do Bud Askins' thing, is suspicious of you. And then this girl is also suspicious that you're not a true believer, but she's also less convinced in this whole project. And I don't know, the whole that whole storyline's been really fascinating for me too this season. I think it happens. Shows get where they spent a lot of time last season developing Lucy and the Ghoul, and this season just feels like we're getting the most fascinating stuff from characters that are a little underdeveloped, and they're really getting a chance to thrive. So I'm excited to talk about this more, 1 episode, 2 episodes at a time instead of 5, because it is hard to like really dive into anything specific here. But I was just so tired of waiting, and I knew if we kept waiting, we just would never get to it. So thanks for hopping on and doing this with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get out of here, one thing I did want to bring up, it was to the point you were just making about some of the underdeveloped characters from season 1 kind of getting a chance to shine in season 2. But one character that I'm really interested to spend more time with is Steph, the new overseer of Vault 32 now, because she's showing her true colors, and we had Zach Cherry's character, show his lack of awareness and not realizing what he's really put himself in her sights. But also,
sorry, go ahead.
Just also the way Chet is, like, his reactions are so hilarious to me, and that's just a character. I think he's such a great foil to the villain she's becoming, and I love kind of seeing him sweat himself.
Zach Cherry is playing his character from Severance, like, just straight up. Like, I love it so much. He's playing a underground employee, basically, of like an evil corporation who is a stickler for the rules. Like, that is, Zach Cherry does that very specific thing very, very well.
He does. Oh
man. All right. Well, I wish we could talk more about this. I really do.
Sure.
We've just gotten done recording MCU Cast and Multiverse News tonight, so I've got to get off of here and go edit those. And I'm just kind of, I have this general vibe of how the season's going, but like you said at the top, I did not take time to rewatch or take notes. I just really wanted to catch up so we could. I'm hoping the season ends really strong. I feel like it's getting there. Like the first couple episodes, like I said at the top, didn't hook me, but now I'm 5 episodes in and I am hooked. I'm totally in. The Robert House character, giving Coop like a new spin on why he's doing what he's doing, and that whole it's that whole flashback Lost thing where you're constantly getting new context. But it's interesting because it's just for the one character. You know what I mean? Like in Lost,
Right.
every week was context for a new character, and every week we're getting new context for Coop, and it's like. It's always kind of spinning why he's doing the things he's doing. You know, you got it as general idea, but it's always a little different based on where you are in the flashbacks.
Yeah, and it's working narratively for me really well, but I also kind of have to acknowledge just, the meta part of the show is like Walton Goggins probably doesn't want to be in makeup all the time, and that's a
true.
good way to save a little bit of money and actually have your star like recognizable. What was I going to say beyond that? Oh, no, the other thing that I appreciate from a meta perspective that they kind of leaned into is, again, to hop back to Robert House for just a second. In season 1, he was played by a different actor.
Huh.
And they just own that. Like, you constantly see that archival footage. And then in this season, they showed that he basically has someone that acts as Robert House for him, like his mouthpiece, his public facing, so that he can keep himself that, clandestine and protected. I thought that was...
I caught that, but I did not remember that he'd been in season 1. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that he was in that at all. The show is very complicated for a show that we're not having as much time to cast about. So, all right. Well, we're going to try to devote a little more time to it these coming weeks. Now that, for me at least, I'm past the holidays. I'm past a lot of the busyness. So if you're up for it, I'm down to try to catch these once a week if we can.
Yeah, I should be.
If we can. Yeah. It sucks. We do... I love doing Always Watching because it's like there's always something fun to watch these days. But it's a show that gets relegated to last place in our network because like MCU Cast and Multiverse News kind of have to happen every week the way they happen, and then it's like as much for me, not for the whole network, but just for me. These of the shows I do regularly, Always Watching always ends up being like the one we plan last and plan around other things, and it's a bummer because I love just watching all these TV shows that are a little more. Different, they're just everything's just so much variety in the world to cover.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah. Well, you got anything you want to tell the people about, man?
Just check out what we've been talking about here, Multiverse News, and support all the shows on the Stranded Panda Podcast Network.
Yeah, absolutely do that. And check out MCU Cast this week. Wonder Man's coming quick, so we'll be talking about that. And that's all we got. Peace.
We'll be watching.
Okie dokie.
Do you want me to edit this one?
That would be amazing, actually, because I wouldn't be able to edit it till tomorrow. So yeah, I can bounce this out and send it to you.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. Yes, he is. Well, Matt, you are also covering Starfleet Academy. That's true, I am. That just started back to new Star Trek started this week, and yeah, that show particularly gets short shrift a lot of times, the Star Trek podcast, because I'm so busy doing so many other things. Okay, that's already stopped. But Starfleet Academy was great, by the way. I loved it.
You've gushed about it a few times, and you recommended it to me way back when it was first coming out, and I remember I tried.
Well, no, this is the first episode of this, so you may be thinking of something else.
No, I'm thinking of what was I? Prodigy. I was thinking of. I'm sorry.
Oh, Prodigy, yeah, the animated show. I think you'd really like Prodigy. You'd really like it, and it's a good if you don't know Star Trek, it's a good introduction to Star Trek.
Okay.
But the new Starfleet Academy, I don't know how it'll be as an introduction because I'm only one episode in. It just started this week, but it's really good. I've been really impressed.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I don't know anything about Star Trek. I've seen, a handful of episodes from the original series, and Yeah, I've dabbled.
Yeah, it's a good show. I love Star
Yeah.
Trek. For me, it's like a seminal work, I guess. Like it's
Oh yeah, absolutely.
a big part of who I am. Well, YouTube, we love you. We're gonna get off of here. Thank you.